Great. Any comments or feedback? Any questions, ideas?
It's very interesting, Ramin, because cycles are always happening. I mean, everything goes in cycles, like a pendulum, and yeah, trying to predict them. I also read that some people look at sun cycles, like sunspot cycles.
I didn't want to go
Yeah,
deep. Yes, I mean that's so we have moon people follow us, trying to find the moon. I mean, there's just so many interesting things out there. So yes, yes, true. And our moods change, we're talking about, when there's a full moon, we behave differently. And it happens, every 30 days or whatever. It's just
yeah.
and then most accidents happen I think it's like Monday morning or something like that, or most I mean it's just human psychology also works on that, but yeah, that's why I want to mention, the world, the universe has orders, so we go to the seasons and everything has its own ebbs and flows. So
Yeah, it makes sense. So you looked into that, like you tried to use them in your trading.
Old days, yes, I did for many, many years, at least the tool that I had. Now, with Larry Williams's, I've followed him. He's actually not bad. He's about 70% correct. He can tell you, for instance, he goes and he says, you know what, on the 10th trading day of this month, the bonds are going to bottom. So that's the time to buy it, or gold is going to top. So he uses cycles, and once in a while, I mean, you can follow him. He's a really interesting character, and his daughter actually won. It was funny because he was the first winner, and nobody has come close to what he had done. He turned 10,000 to a million, and then I think his daughter also won the trading, and then she became an actress. She's pretty actually famous actress now. But yeah, so he's pretty good. But it's nothing is 100%. I mean, it's not even 90% or 80, but he has some good ideas. And if you want to follow his work, you can. But then it's not completely accurate. So you just have to do your own due diligence, but he gives you heads up. So yeah, he has services like that. But for me, it didn't work as far as the other parts, that actually charting it and just looking at these domes and
Yeah, I've seen those.
it's very subjective. And I've had like some of the like Bernstein. I've known him for many, many years, and it's like kind of a pick and choose. It's like, oh, see, I did this right, but then five other times that didn't work. So you really have to be very, again, it's very subjective in my opinion. I mean, it was good. It was like a little added things, but the amount of energy I put into that, as I said, I had like thousands of printouts, and the amount of energy I put into this was it was not worth it. And I decided that let me focus on the things that are efficient for me, so, or my
Hmm.
personality. So yeah,
Yeah, thanks, Ramin.
you're welcome. Anything else? Anyone? No, I hope it was helpful, something different. I mean, one of the things I try to do is things that you don't find in many in the YouTube, for instance. I don't know, just something different. So anyway.
Now, I mean, it was super interesting.
Oh, good. Good. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Ramajan. It was great. I personally enjoyed that. One of the question I have, this type of cycles, are they applied to the seasonality as well? Like, are they going hand in hand or no? It's just like different.
No, awesome question. No, it is. It's funny because a lot of like these authors, they've written a book on seasonality as well. So they definitely go hand in hand, because it is it is a repetition of the patterns, right? So when we think about agriculture, for instance, and the reaction to, let's say we have the harvesting season coming up now, starting soon. So, yes, it does. Or even, we talked about earnings, for instance. Earnings is cycles, every 90 days we have earnings. That's a cycle, but also it can create seasonality in that stock. So yes, they're pretty much related. The cycle is like more of a bigger picture of looking at a lot of longer term, but seasonality is more of a behavior of shorter term, just happening over and over. So as I mentioned, like stocks earnings happen every 90 days. So, but you're in the right track. Cycles and seasonalities they go hand in hand, definitely. But it's just, as I say, cycle is more of a macro and a bigger picture.
Got it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Excellent. All right. Any other questions, comments? Next week, oh, by the way, sorry. Oh, sorry, Henry. Just want to reiterate that next Wednesday, we have our club, our book of the month. We will do the trading in the zone. So if you like to read it or listen to it, then we can put our heads together. It should be an interesting, conversation, I would say. So.
Yeah, I thought the little history on the new economic policy was interesting. I didn't know about the Economist, that because they were actually starting to adopt his policies before Stalin came to power in Soviet Union.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting.
Thanks. Yeah, things happen. How life could have been different. So that's one man. There was a talk. If there were like 7 people were not like in 20th century, if they were not around, the world would have been completely different, good or bad. And think about that. You're talking about billions of people, how 7 people could have changed or have changed the history completely. Of course, Stalin is one of them. So,
and it wasn't just him, in that purge, they executed a lot of very talented people, engineers.
Yes, all the intellectual, yes.
Doctors.
Yes. I mean, it's interesting. I don't want to make it political, like anytime there's like a revolution or something in a new country happens, what do? They immediately purge the intellectuals, the men, that brainwash the youth, so the young people not, but the people between 20s and 40s are the ones who, they get purged, whether it's intentional in a way of, execution, or it's interesting how all of a sudden they start a war, for instance, with no reason, and they send these young men to war so they can cleanse them in a sense. So
yeah, all of these things are kind of part of the larger cycles too.
Yeah,
tied to the human psychology.
Yes.
Because a lot of these revolutions, they are also, in the beginning, they're supported by a lot of these intellectuals that end up, like in Russia, it was the SRs, the socialist revolutionaries, and they were actually, like, a lot of them were killed by the Bolsheviks later, even though they were a big part of the revolution.
Right.
Yeah.
True.
Okay.
Very good. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you for being part of this. Again, I hope it was beneficial. And So we'll go ahead and try this Saturday, see how that works, and start recording in the evening. And I'll send out like Saturday early evening. I'll send out the recording. And then with that in mind, then I hope I'll see everyone. It was wonderful to see everyone. Look forward to seeing everyone on Wednesday, next Wednesday, for our book club. If there's no other questions or comments, I wish you a wonderful day ahead, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ramin.
Thank you, Rami John.
Thank you.
See
Appreciate
you,
it.
everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.